So don't give out any confidential information while while the recording is on. If you need to exchange anything, I will go ahead and turn the recordings off. All right, today's date is September 2nd, 2021. In Cottle County, Texas, I call cause number 4598 in the interest of McKenna Lynn Casey. What says the state?
Ready, Your Honor.
Also present by audio and video is Lacey Brewer. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes.
And she was represented by her attorney, Steve Bird. Are you ready, Mr. Bird?
I'm ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Thank you. The court's file reflects that Michael Casey was served with notice of these proceedings on May 26, 2021. There is no answer or appearance on behalf of Mr. Casey this morning. This hearing was set for 9:30 and it's now approximately 9:40 a.m. So we will proceed to default. I take judicial notice of the contents of the court's file available to me through Research Texas. Ms. Kuntz, you may call your first witness.
Your Honor, the state calls Lacey Brewer.
Ms. Brewer, would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Ms. Kuntz.
Ma'am, what is your full name?
Lacey Lynn Brewer.
And what is the full name of your child on this case?
McKenna Lynn Casey.
Okay, and what is McKenna's date of birth?
It is 6/27/15.
Okay. Are there any concerns with your address and other identifying information being in the court order?
No.
Okay. And are you asking today that the court make you the sole managing conservator of McKenna?
Yes.
And that Mr. Casey just be a possessory conservator with visitation rights?
Yes.
And you and Mr. Casey did sign an acknowledgement of paternity, legally naming him as McKenna's father. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And can you tell the court a little bit about your some concerns you may have with sharing rights and responsibilities or visitation with Mr. Casey?
He has had several DWIs, and I don't feel safe putting her in the car with him. There's been emotional and physical abuse towards me. So that, that makes me uncomfortable also with him being around her without somebody being there with them.
Okay. And do you ask that all visitation occur in Cottle County and be supervised?
Yes.
Okay. And do you believe that it would be in McKenna's best interest for that visitation to take place the first, third, and fifth Saturday and Sunday of each month from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.?
Yes.
And would you like that the meetup for that visitation to occur at John Colby Jones Park in Paducah, provided that the weather is okay for that?
Yes.
And then if the weather isn't okay for that to be a good meetup spot, would you like to meet up at Paducah Child Development Center instead?
Yes.
And you are able to get into that facility to be inside in the event of inclement weather. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And when did you and Mr. Casey separate?
I believe it was January 2017.
Okay. You requesting that he pay retroactive child support for the period from January 2017 to present?
Yes.
Okay. And does Mr. Casey have any other minor children that you're aware of?
No.
Your Honor, I asked that the investigative report on Mr. Casey's income be placed in evidence as State's Exhibit 1.
No objection, Your Honor.
Admitted as states number 1.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Ms. Brewer, you're familiar with Mr. Casey's employment history?
Yes.
Okay, and you're aware of the investigative report that's been done on recent income for him, is that correct?
Yes.
And do you believe that that would be a fair representation of an average of his income during the retroactive support time period?
Yes.
Okay, and based on that, we've done some calculations and calculated a retroactive support amount for 57 months of $23,598. Are you asking that the court enter a judgment against Mr. Casey in that amount?
Yes.
Okay, and do you ask that he be ordered to pay that judgment at $150 per month? That's the initial payment plan on that?
Yes.
Okay. We've also done some calculations regarding current support. And are you currently providing insurance for the child through your employer?
It will begin October 1st. I signed up today.
Okay. And what is the cost for McKenna's share of the medical support?
Medical is $377.46 per month.
Okay. And you know that you're aware that that exceeds 9% of what we're showing to be his gross income per month.
Yes.
And are you okay with the court capping his medical support at 9%, which would be approximately $216 per month?
Yes.
Do you ask that the court order him to pay $216 per month for medical support and go ahead and make you responsible for providing that health insurance, even though it exceeds the 9%?
Yes.
Okay. And you're also providing dental insurance through your employer?
Yes.
And what is the cost for your child's share of the dental insurance?
It is $17.64.
Okay. And let's see, let me just hop over here and check a calculation. We had discussed dental, and I apologize, I didn't get the change. Do you want him to be ordered to pay the $17.64 per month on the dental?
Yes.
Okay. And
Let's round that to $18.
yes, Your Honor. And I'm just going to check and see if it changes the other calculation. It still does round to the same dollar amount on the other calculation if I put 18 for the dental. Based on giving him credit for the medical support amount and the dental support amount that's being requested, I come up with a guideline child support amount in addition to that of $367 per month. Are you asking that Mr. Casey also be ordered to pay $367 per month guideline child support?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else you believe the court needs to hear from you today to help make a determination about your case?
I can't think of anything.
I pass the witness.
Mr. Byrd, do you have questions?
I'll be very brief, Your Honor. Lacey, in regards to the visitation, you are, based upon past background of Mr. Casey, asking that all the visitation be supervised at all times. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that supervision would either be by you or a competent adult that has been selected by you if you're unable to be there. Is that correct?
Yes.
Further, are you asking the court to provide an order that until further notice, further order of the court, that there be no travel with McKenna in the vehicle of Mr. Casey at any time based upon his past alcohol use?
Yes.
You feel that that is in McKenna's best interest and safety.
Yes.
So any visitation, you or a competent adult of your choosing will take McKenna to the location for the visitation with her father at that time. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you again feel that that's in McKenna's best interest and her safety.
Yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Oh, well. Has Mr. Casey given you anything for the support of McKenna since you two separated?
No.
Does he have any other children?
He has grown children, 3 other children.
Okay. Are you, Mr. Bird, let me ask you a question. Are you asking that the travel by car not be with Mr. Casey as the driver or with Mr. Casey in the car?
Let me ask my client, Your Honor, if that.
Let's make sure that our order
Yes.
reflects.
Now, Lacey, are you asking that any travel with McKenna be with you or a person under your control rather than by Mr. Casey or someone with him? Because it's your concern is that if there's somebody with him that comes, they might switch over to him during their time.
Yes.
Because of how Mr. Casey is manipulative.
Yes.
And so any travel of McKenna for locations of visitation, you want to be the one in control of that.
Yes.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
So how do you anticipate this playing out, ma'am? That he can remove McKenna from these locations, or that the visitation would occur only in these 2 locations?
Only in these 2 locations.
All right, let's specifically put that in the order.
Thank you, Your Honor, for being.
Based on the testimony and evidence before me, then, I do find that Michael Lee Casey is the legal and biological father of McKenna and established the parent-child relationship for all purposes. I am appointing Ms. Brewer as the sole managing conservator and Mr. Casey as a possessory conservator with all the attendant rights that go with that. I'm granting the request for visitation to occur either in Jones Park or at the Child Development Center in Paducah, according to Ms. Brewer's choice. I'm going to grant the visitation on Saturdays, 1st, 3rd, and 5th from 1 to 4 with 48 hours telephone or electronic notice to Ms. Casey. No consumption of alcoholic beverages within 12 hours prior to any visitation. Will that cover the visitation?
I believe that should be sufficient, Your Honor.
All right, I'm granting the and ordering Mr. Casey to pay Ms. Brewer child support of $367 per month. I'm starting October 1st of 2021. I'm going to grant retroactive support for 48 months rather than the full amount that you're asking for. The retroactive support starting, well, actually 48 months from the date Mr. Casey was served. which would be starting from June 1st of 2017 at $367 per month forward. And whatever that judgment, want me to run it quick?
Whatever that comes to, Judge, be fine.
Okay, 48 months at $150 per month. Those monthly payments also starting October 1st of 2021. Court costs assessed against Mr. Casey due in a year, so October 1st of 2022. Ms. Brewer to carry the health insurance, Mr. Casey to reimburse $216 per month on the health insurance and pay $18 per month for the dental insurance starting October 1st. As well as each parent pays half of any medical or dental bills not covered by the insurance. Ms. Brewer, if you have any cheaper insurance available to you, I'd encourage you to look into it. Has McKenna been on Medicaid?
She was in the past, but for the past year, she's been on my husband's insurance because it was a lot cheaper. But then the plant's closing that he's working at, so that's why I added her to mine. And I'm on the lowest one available, the cheapest one.
Okay, excellent, excellent. I'm glad that's available to you. If you do qualify for Medicaid or for CHIP, that might be helpful to try applying again, but you probably know the answer to that one already.
Yes.
All right. Is there any other relief I need to address?
I think that's all, Judge. Thank you.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right. And who's going to prepare the order?
I'd be happy to prepare the order, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Byrd, do you want to do the visitation or well, why don't you, Ms. Coons, why don't you prepare the order and send it through Mr. Byrd so that he can sign off on the form of it?
That's fine, Judge.
And then if you will e-file it to me once you've approved it, Mr. Byrd, I intend to sign it. There is a period of 3 business days starting today during which anybody can request a new hearing. If somebody does that, you get a new hearing in front of Judge Byrd, and we would start over, or he would start over and make his own decision.
Judge,
Yes.
briefly, I believe that would be Judge Habert.
That's right. You're right. It's going to be Judge Habert.
Yes.
Would start over and make her own decision. If nobody requests that new hearing within the next 3 business days, then this order starts to become final, and you should get a copy by email or in the mail. And Ms. Brewer, stay in touch with Mr. Byrd until you have a copy of your order in hand. And just let me say, I'm not going to restrict you from supervising the visitation, but I wish you would choose someone else.
Okay.
If you've experienced physical violence or anger directed at you, you do not want to be alone with Mr. Casey in an environment where he might perpetrate something again. So
Okay.
I encourage you to either take someone with you or arrange for a different adult to be there if he wants to visit. All right?
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.